Welcome to a new episode of Talking Area 51. I am your host, 51 Spade. We back again, man. And yeah, man, we got to talk about this fight that went down last night, Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Hey, you new to the channel, man, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I would sincerely appreciate it. Help the community grow, and let's get into it, man. So last night, I'm quite sure everybody know by now, it was the shot heard across the world that Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. Now, right before this fight, it was supposed to be Gervonta Davis for unseen circumstances. He had to drop out of the fight. His replacement ended up being Joshua. In either one of these scenarios, I still believe that Gervonta Davis would have beat him. And then just in this case, no one really gave him a shot as far as like him actually beating Anthony Joshua. I even saw like a clip, as everybody know, I'm a UFC fan. They asked Dana White. Dana White was like, hey, y'all probably going to get, that's a stupid fight for one, but he was like, y'all more than likely going to get what everyone wants to see. And there you have it. Now, first off, this was in Miami. Big shout out to Miami Beach. They threw it there. And the very first thing that I noticed is that the ring was extremely bigger than an average ring. And probably to a novice boxing fan, they probably didn't even really notice that. And so that was the very first thing I noticed. But I do want to give props to Jake Paul for actually, I'll never knock a man hustle. Like really off the gate, like I'm never gonna knock a man hustle. He hustled his way into this sport. And you could tell that he has love for it. But one thing I can say from actually being Golden Gloves myself is that you cannot learn this sport, especially and that skill set as far as like boxing in that short amount of time. In that short amount of time that you have to develop that type of skill set, man, they start real young. So especially for young men, young women who have sons, they want to get them in the box. You got to get them into it early. You got to start at like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, because that will train your body, your reflexes. It becomes like muscle memory in your brain and those things. Now, don't get me wrong. There are fighters that have started late in their careers. I'm not saying that it can't be done, but I'm just saying in the amount of time that he was doing in this 5-year span and just jumping. And keep in mind, he was a YouTuber. So he was a YouTuber that got into the boxing, started off doing the exhibitions with the celebrity boxing matches and stuff like that against people who actually weren't boxers, then going into like MMA fighters. And at that point in time, we starting to see him generating the buzz. And after a while, you were just like, you know what? Really don't like this dude. His cocky, his arrogance. He did lose the Tyson's Fury brother. So that's where that one loss actually came from. But heading into the fight, fast forward, this is him jumping to say, hey, I can actually do one, calling out Terrence Crawford, calling out Canelo. And this was the result of that. And this was going to be the result of that. And then jumping weight classes. And they're weight classes for a reason. You don't jump weight classes just to be like, the hell with it. And you got what you was asking for. Now, reports are coming out that he had his jaw broken into two pieces. It was a ridiculous fight from one. You know what I'm saying? It was not exhibition. It was an actual sanctioned boxing match. And it was sanctioned for 8 rounds. Of course, a lot of people was like, Joshua should get him out there in the first, second round. He was running. First of all, it was a ridiculous fight. He was running from here to there. He would stop every once in a while to try to fight back, as y'all can actually see. But the inevitable was physics are still physics at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? 250 pounds coming at you is still 250 pounds. He's like 6'6", and Jake Paul is like 6'1", 212, 220 something pounds. Don't quote me on that. But the reality of it is you're not going to do anything with that. Like the force, I'm sure like in your mind is a man. You're going to be like, yeah, I can fight and do this out. But your brain, once you get hit, is two things. That's reaction, is fight or flight. And that's what actually happened. it was flight. And once he felt the power, he was on that tricycle from there on. And everybody was just waiting for the moment. Took him a little bit longer than expected. But hey, it is what it is. He finally got the knockout. I believe that was the 5th round. Let me make sure. He got knocked out in the 6th round. So he got knocked out in the 6th round, and that was all she wrote. And I'm quite sure everybody was more happy. You know what? I do give him props for getting in there and giving the old try. We all know this was about money. So it was one of those things that, it was a money grab and he was going to continue to do it. I mean, it was his hustle. So I'm not even mad at his hustle itself, but there's weight classes for a reason. There's skill set for a reason. And Joshua showed that, look, you don't belong in here with me. Even in the beginning of the fight, they had Leila Ali there. They had Andre Ward there. And she was basically saying, like, look, if he don't get no knockout, you know what I'm saying? Like, this would be sad for the sport of boxing. But no one really even gave him a chance, really, at the end of the day. From the time this fight was made, everyone was like, oh, yeah, he's definitely getting knocked out. And I said to myself, like, if he don't get knocked out, this is rigged. So that's just absolutely what it was. But, yeah, man, I just wanted to touch on that. Y'all tell me what y'all think. I know wasn't no one going for actually Jake Paul, because that would have just been ludicrous, and you definitely don't know boxing. But did y'all enjoy seeing this fight? Do you want to see him fight again? That would be the actual thing right there. He did post saying like his jaw was broken. He was in a hospital bed and said, hey, give me Canelo in 10 rounds. But you know what I'm saying? The same result will happen right then and there. So y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all give me y'all thoughts, and what did y'all think about the fight? I mean, to me, it was a ridiculous fight, but it inevitably was going to happen. I just, I tuned into it like the world, and, you wanted to see him get knocked out. I wanted to see him get knocked out cold. It wasn't cold, but it was still good enough, and good enough pummel for me to be like, all right, cool. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So yeah. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man. You new to the channel, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, please. And that would sincerely help me out. This is 51 Space signing out for Talking Area 51. And until next time, man, peace.